edition of the show. It's Vault of Doom podcast. Here again with you is me, your host Mickey GemInEye, just doubling up for the month on Metal Hammer UK. This issue has a few alternate covers on it. It's actually got 5 alternate covers, including the likes of a few artists that I don't know and a few that I do know. And so I'll be guiding you through this read through once again in the same way that I always do. Make basically, what am I actually doing here on the show? Reading a other than reading a magazine should be the question my better judgment or logic should ask myself, and the answer is very simple. I'm making it easy for you to discover this magazine and the articles therein. As for the actual discussions and interactions with other people that may read these articles or have already read them on their own or have their own digital copies and then read these at home, that's for the social medias. Here on this episode of the show, on this platform and this channel, I'm just bringing you the information, and like to bring myself as well along for the first time. Usually reading these every time is the first time I've read these, and that hasn't changed. So this will be, basically you seeing. You could also even consider it like a reaction video even as well, and that hasn't changed. I still haven't read this issue of the magazine prior to doing this recording, but having that said, I think that's a pretty much good enough introduction to, in case you're just joining me now, or if you've been following me. Of course, that would be for you to basically, that would be for me to decide upon reading your comments, I guess, basically. Anyway, a little bit off track there. What's the point that I'm trying to make here is about bringing you guys along for my first reads, for my first times of reading these. There's just all kinds of stuff I'm seeing and noticing in what I'm reading, and as I do these episodes and record these, I'm also sacrificing the time that I could be making the music. But for now, we're going to talk about the music. I can't sit around making music all day, so when I'm not doing that, I'll be talking about it. Anyways, without further ado, folks, let's enjoy this double dose of Metal Hammer UK's digital copies. As I mentioned, pause and read the articles that I skim past. As for the articles that I do read, drop those comments and input. Here we go. Alright, opening up this issue of Metal Hammer UK April. We have a few different versions of the covers, with starting off with Bloodywood. This is a trio from India, and then Bambie Thug Life article will be covered on this. I think I briefly brushed over Bloodywood, but we'll cover Bambie Thug. Slaughter to Prevail, definitely not going to be up my alley, so I won't be covering that article. Followed by, of course, the very much adored Jinjer, and that is, of course, just Tatiana Shmylik on the cover, but not the rest of the band. That is the Ukrainian metalcore outfit, and followed by this advertisement for the new Cradle of Filth album, The Screaming of Valkyries, out now via Napalm. With Electric Callboy being the original cover on here. We've got Tsunami Sea advertisement from Spirit Box. Just pretty cool looking, black and white, upside down, whatever. And here we can start off with Bloodywood, where I'll briefly brush over that. I want to remind you too that based out of Chicago, Illinois, here in the United States, there's a digital tour bus YouTube channel that actually you can find the Bloodywood episode of that show of them being in their tour bus, which is actually it's not a tour bus, actually. It's really just a small van anyway, but it's so cool. Check it out. The guys seem very cool, very humble, and just huge for an up-and-comer. Here is Electric Callboy that I will briefly brush over, simply for the fact that this looks like a boy band. I don't understand why they're on the cover, but luckily there's like 5 different covers. There's like 5 different covers on here, but this looks definitely like a boy band. I mean, brushing over through here, just looking at it from a distance, I can clearly see basically that there's not much interest I would have in it. I can see why a lot of people would have a lot of interest in it. Here we have Whitechapel advertisement for their new album. Flipping through, Queen of Everything. I think this is Jinjer. Yes, it is. In fact, there she is, the stunning Tatiana Shmylik, and her photo shoot for this magazine being quite interesting indeed. How they did on the photo quality, the makeup, the poses that she makes. I mean, she's really, her character, her personality, you take your pick at what fans are saying, but be the true fan of Jinjer on this article for this band. Pause, read, see what you like from here to really get acquainted with this new metal outfit from the Ukraine. I can count on one hand the amount of artists that I watch interviews for, surprisingly enough, and I can count on 2 hands on the amount of artists that I've interviewed myself recently. But there's something that stood out to me, the interview that I saw with Tatiana, where she's basically mentioning that it's difficult to write when you're in the Ukraine during the war that's going on, and she does it anyway. I mean, she's basically feeling like that this is both based on a video interview with her as well as a news article that was read about her saying this. But their new album Duel is out now, helping to break the mold on that and shatter any doubt that there would be about being able to still write songs of this nature during a war such as the current ongoing conflict. Whoa, what a mess that is. And whoa, what a rush of overload of information it is to try to keep up with it. imagine it would help to maybe get into this article for starters, pause and read. Normally, I'll just pop out buzzwords and pick and choose which ones I'm gonna read out of here. But this time, I'm leaving that up to you, and I'm just doing this kind of pretty much outside the actual article. It of course helps for me to put a little bit more time into the episodes. However, the season's through, so with the season being up, I'm taking it easy. So to speak, not really taking it easy. It's still, these are still your usual, these are still running the same length episodes as usual for this series in the show. And it's still just as grueling of a process to put everything together, have the episode published on YouTube. And to be honest, I don't think I really want to even put any of these out on Spotify. There she is again. Scrolling back here to see the full shot, and of course the wonderful hand tattoos. So glorious is the ink given for her. If I can bring myself to invite her onto the show, I'd want to know about her ink, who does her tattoos, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I don't think any of these are going to be on Spotify, so enjoy just this part of the series of the show here exclusively on YouTube, with season 8 being just another I'm expecting season 8 to be a mess. So it probably will be. Hey, but if not, then there's the following seasons just falling into line naturally. But I would hope that this is where I close off on this segment here, with just basically you seeking those out, kind of maybe return back to me on the comments to let me know what you think about what they're saying in the current ongoing conflict in Ukraine. And if you've listened to the new album, I believe I've heard one track from their new album, but it must have been overshadowed, honestly, in my side of this perspective here, that it must have been overshadowed by Lacuna Coil, Randy Bly collaboration, music video. So I can't, though I've added it to my watch later list and added it to my list to check out, these are still all mainstream artists, and that is not up my alley, so I don't have that as a priority. Getting around to doing an album review for this, this is not something I would do in this arena. I wouldn't do it under this orifice. If and when I'm listening to the album and do an album review, or if it's featured on the show, it's going to be under some sort of much more spontaneous circumstances. Anyhow, Slaughter to Prevail is the next article here, where we got some really goofy imagery of a giant mascot. I don't know if that's a sloth or a bear, but jumping into something here where I would like to try to paraphrase, maybe even read the whole article. We got the Thug Life. The title, Thug Life, for Bambie Thug. Would the real Bambie Thug please stand up? Is it the one on stage, dressed like the devil, wearing stripper boots and a long goatee smothered in red paint? The one naked part from Glitter in the X-rated video for the 2021 debut single, Birthday. The Ouija pop necromancer who appeared at last year's Eurovision performing a televised exorcism while checked out in Raven Feathers and bagged 6th place for their native Ireland? Or maybe it's the one that's been casting a spell over Europe on their recent Crown the Witch, TOTTR, donning glitting tour. Not T-O-T-T-O, tour, sorry. Donning glitter outfits and ornate gothic headpieces as they rule over the smoky musical seances. I hope you don't mind, laughs Bambie today, as they turn up at their PR London's offices wearing nothing more outlandish than a rhinestone trinket. This is actually a long article. I'm going to try to actually... I'm just going to go with the flow on this one. I feel like I trust the pace that this is going to move at, that it's going to be fun. It's tiring being the hardest working witch in the coven, especially when that witch is effectively homeless. Bambie has been sofa surfing for the past 2 years, finding sanctuary with friends. While there's a romance to the nomadic lifestyle, they know it can't last forever. They love nothing more than to click their heels and reappear in a place of their own, except that's still a dream right now. I don't think anything will change anytime soon, they say. Touring's broken me mentally, physically, and financially. I'm independent and self-funded. A mischievous look sweeps across their face. I think labels are still scared of me, they smirk, a glint in their eye. For Bambie, the grind started long before they stormed the Eurovision stage. Their musical journey began in the late 2010s when they began teaching themselves to write songs. Over the subsequent years, they shifted time and time again, constantly reinventing themselves. With this group, that's the first thing I will clear the air with here. This is a group and not a one-woman piece. It's funny, the versions of yourself you go through, they muse. When I first started writing, I was writing these cheesy love songs. I was obsessed with Barbie movies and fairy tales growing up, but I moved on from that. Thank God for the darkness. Each of Bambie's incarnations has fed into the cosmic world of Ouija pop. While their debut album is still in the works, Bambie's 2023 EP, Cathexis, serves as a comprehensive tour of their avant-goth palette. From Queen Club pop anthem Last Summer, I Know What You Did, to Bye Boy's rap beatdown, to the metallic pop exorcism that is Doomsday Blue, Bambie thrives in their own eclectic world of sound. Their singles only add more flavor to the boiling cauldron. 2022's Headbang is flecked with hyperpunk and glitch pop, while 2023's Egregore showcases gnashing out metal fury. I love the dance track, but my pop tracks are still gritty. I'm not interested in this at all. I'm just interested, I think the story behind this is definitely going to provide some insight. She's got an interesting story. Her look is definitely appealing. The amount of determination that it takes to push through genre, to break a genre molds like this, is something that very much interests me. That you can take two genres and blend them together. We've all heard of trap metal. We've all heard of trip hop and acid jazz, and we've all heard of a lot of different stuff like that. But Ouija pop, this is interesting. Play some of this music when you're with certain people is what my mindset would be. I can't imagine I'd hang out with somebody like that more than a few times. But she's pushing through and powering through and making this music, so why not? It's there. This kind of music is there. And anyway, I went to a Catholic coven school and know my magic while I was still there. I lost my magic while I was still there. That's interesting too. She says that she lost her magic when she was going to a Catholic school. Just scrolling through, as much as I trust the scrolling through here on this one, there's still, with a lot of more information, I'm going to encourage you to pause to check that out. I'll just jump in whenever it's random. She tattooed the word pork on her, seemingly random, and explains that certain pieces of ink are inspired by songs they've yet to release. Yeah, what else can you do with some songs that you haven't released? Other than tattoo them on you, honestly. I mean, God, you gotta, that, and then just get some barbed wire and adorable fish and dancing mice, as well as a reminder to drink water. So she's got the word pork tattooed on her, a reminder to drink water, or the words drink water tattooed on her. Either one is interesting. You know, these are really cool. I mean, this information on an article, and then me reading the article, and then putting that out still as news. This is still news. That's the relevancy here. That's the premise that I'm saying. But if I met Bambie in person and I started talking about her tattoos, I would much rather prefer we completely ignored her tattoos that say drink water and that say pork. I wouldn't, unless we were going to try to do some kind of ritual about it, or create some sort of energy behind the conversation. But, well, let's move on. Bambie's first credited appearance was as a vocalist on South London DJ's Fight Get Fibbatch 2020 Soul Funk Club track Mean. Their own debut, hedonistic single Birthday, I Only Take Drugs on My Birthday, a New Year, Christmas, every other Thursday, came out the following year and was accompanied by a striking video. Since then, they've released a trio of EPs, 2021's Psilocyber, the same year's High Romancy, 2023's Cathexis. So that's the most recent one, Cathexis, and now she's been touring ever since. It's a couple years ago, now she's touring. Must be playing songs from all three. So she's got 3 albums out now. It's a string of standalone singles. And those strings of standalone singles, maybe the songs that she's got tattooed on her are included in there. Because of my past traumas, I tend to go quiet when I'm angry, they say. Once I completely lost my voice for the 2 months, but Bambie Thug is confident. Bambie Thug is loud. Okay, so it's a pronoun they. She's a pronoun they. That's a one woman piece. It's a one woman band. I'm screaming for arenas of people. Then I get off stage, get triggered by something, and bawl my eyes out. They say I'm still trying to learn how to feel proud of my achievements. Slowly, one achievement they're allowing themselves to feel proud about is our manifestation track, 2022 Tsunami 1111. I wrote it while staying at friends, they recall. I was starting to feel awful about the couch surfing. I wasn't looking after myself. Everything was a mess. I just needed to get outside. So I went out in the rain, crouched on top of a bin, and wrote this song saying, I'm going to be somebody you wait to see. While the past year has been non-stop, the hard work is paying off. Bambie has seen a community of fans growing. It feels like I have a cult following now, they beam. And the kids absolutely love me. I'm so grateful that parents are allowing their kids to dress up goth, come to my shows. I have no idea how, but they always manage to sneak in even if it's an 18+ show. These effects added to this photo make them look like them. Truly. And I noticed those might be some occult symbols, some ancient symbols, and of course the coveted pentacle, rather. Her grill, well, that's got the upper grill. It's something very grand here that the makeup she used on here to have those giant eyelashes on the top and bottom here. Singers aware that some songs such as the Fellatio celebrating Kawasaki, I love it, feels so good when it hits my lips. Our Birthday might be a bit too debauched for sections of that following. And skimming through, skipping along. It's quite a long article. Getting to close, drawing to a close, and on the final photo, that's where I want to really save a little bit of my breath for, because it's got her goth get up that we can get down on and get down with and get with. People are scared of the power of queer people. If I'm looking at it from this side of view or this point of view, is it gonna fill my head with questions like, is she queer? Most likely, she's using a pronoun. Most people that use pronouns are queer. She's toured with Baby Metal. That's relevant. All of our little goth scene, we're just sensitive souls, they say, as they pull on their boots and get ready to leave. We're love punks. We're support each other, so I guess I want people to love each other. Beneath it all, I'm just full of love. A booming cackle and hexes. A booming cackle, she says, and then hexes. And here you have it. Barbed wire mentioned, the aforementioned barbed wire. I like that there's no belly button tattoo, It's like ink here, untouched here, funeral outfit here, pale face. Really good look. She's got a really good look, and that's just a funeral outfit, funeral get up on the headgear that just extends really far out, as well as the coattails. But Bambie Thug will support Baby Metal at London's O2 on May 2nd. I probably got that date incorrect, but we're trucking on along here. Well, here we have Bloodywood. If I don't completely miss over this article for this band entirely, and if I haven't already added the link to that Digital Sewer Bus video, I will try to get my best to get that on there and have you guys check out how they're touring, how they're living. While we're jumping in right in here to the essence of merch you need this month, here on Hoard Almighty, the Coil Sleepless Empire Deluxe Editions coming jam-packed. What is those hacky sacks? Stress balls? Wow. And then, of course, the logo for the... It's just the album art, but that album art is like a strictly logo style. And that album art is just... That album art doesn't look like album art. That album art looks like a logo. Super official. Friends. They can't burn us all t-shirt. Amira t-shirts, the Wardruna merch on there, Imperial Triumphant bundle. I think I actually jump back up to, yeah, Wardruna bundle. This might be the only one I focus on. €36.99. Taking the life cycle of the she-bear to spiritual realms David Attenborough couldn't even contemplate. Get it? Zero fucks tumbler. That's a Zero fucks tarot card. And for €22, get yourself that at the link below. Find your merch here. I mean, honestly, dude, like, this is Hoard Almighty, just in case you didn't know. And right here on this section of this segment, you got all those tiny URLs with merch that you're going to want to buy. And that merch has all its own exclusive stuff. Well, here we go. Next up. Okay, Grima, named after Grima Wormtongue from Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. It's looking like this squalling black metal from the steeps of Siberia is the title of this article. And I want to really just let you know right now that the music video for the one that's about winter, the one that has the word winter in the name of the song, I'm in those comments, and whether my comments go very far or not, I'm in there, and there's a lot of interesting stuff that people say in the comments for this video, because a lot of them are mentioning mostly that I don't know, it's good stuff. It's just good stuff. It's positive, something positive, and I highly suggest you jump in there and fucking check out what people are saying. But it's also really interesting to see that the masks, just like orcs. They look like orcs. Though Grima Wormtongue was just a witch or something like that, a warlock rather, a sorcerer, and for him to be the namesake of this band, the cause for this band, naming their name this, is one thing. But I mean, their vocals, their vocal pitch is just absolutely outstanding. It's way up there in that range with this consistency that really rings true. And hey, and the music video is not cliche or shouldn't at all for having the guitars out in the woods. But what I want to hear from you in the comments is how you may be experiencing this on your journey. Like, is this your first time seeing guitars not being plugged in and played in a music video in the woods? Because by now it looks pretty super cool. I mean, like, nobody says much about it anymore. It's just like, yeah, I'm playing a guitar in the woods without it being plugged in anywhere. And I'm talking before Bluetooth or wireless plugins, music videos where the stuff had to be plugged in. The music video being made that I'm thinking of in mind, the one that I have in mind, is you're jamming out with the guitar in the woods before wireless guitars. And then that's kind of strange. Now it's not so strange anymore, but it should be. Somebody should have something to say about that. Like, just, I don't know, cheering them on and rooting for them. And hey, like, yeah, you could jam out in the woods with the guitar and not have it plugged in. It looks cool. It looks really cool, way cool. And I don't know, but getting into the actual guitar riffs, let me stay back on topic here. The getting into the guitar riffs, they have some really just captivating grooves and melodies on the guitar that simply have no problems captivating me into those embellishments. In fact, probably even gonna have to go so far as to saying, in this part of their neck of the woods, they're probably one of the best out there. But there is a ton of bands from out there that have gotten plenty of accolades from a lot of people. Anyway, on this segment of the show, I've actually got to add in a couple more things here, like that. You know, they have that theme, that winter themed music video. For one, they're jamming out on the guitars in the woods. For two, and then they have these absolutely beautiful landscape shots that they must be with a drone of some sort, where you can catch glimpses of the hills, valleys, streams during the winter time. And they just they maintain the stat quo, keep up to the standards of having the name of the song, that track name, be plenty meticulous and complex to entertain the imagination So it's not just that their music is good, but the music video that they put together. And I think I was actually trying to look at the header here to see if what label they're on, but they don't seem like a Season of Mist band, but they're like in that general area of like Season of Mist style stuff. There's no folk elements in here. This is just straight, uncut, cut and dry fucking black metal. In this article, we've got pretty short, brief ones, so I can get through those. I'll read through those quickly, see what you guys say in the comments, and we'll go from there. But usually I'm only talking about from within the episode, and that's just, since we're a third of the way through, we'll keep trucking on along through here. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Hoard Almighty was before this, and so all we would have left is a few other artists to go through, live performance reviews, album reviews as well. And don't forget, this is actually the last of this series in my show, as well as the last episode of Season 7. So I'll remind you guys, for all the artists featured on these series, I'm going to be looking to interviewing them, having them on the show. Let's do video interviews. Let's do contacting each other style interviews, emails type stuff and whatever, and then you can get also another in-depth stuff, because you might have questions. You might have questions like literally just mundane stuff, like what's your favorite coffee and what do you eat for dinner and what is your routines pre-show and all that. A lot of the stuff is not mentioned on here. I actually can't go through the rigorous process of double checking, cross-referencing everything, so sometimes some of the stuff I may say might have already been said, but I need to also have myself be, just to maintain the integrity of the show and of myself as the host of it, that I do entertain the idea of doing such things where I keep a clean house. And those fucking interviews are something you can look forward to here, especially since I have signature stuff like just Fast Furious 20. I decided to bring back the fucking Fast Furious 20 questions asked in like 5 minutes type thing. And that's where you would get the answers of like, what's your favorite coffee and all that stuff. You're not going to sit and expect that in the normal interview. But routines, pre-show routines, post-performance routines, people want to know that stuff. That's usually not in here. And it's also why people would want to be on the show, as well as you listening to it. Anyway, enough of that. This is the official interview of... Well, it's not an interview. I think this is actually a commentating style commentary. It's a commentary of Grima. And no heads up on anything, so no worries about a spoiler alert, because I don't fucking know what's in here yet. Actually, I might have read this myself, but let's read it again here. For more than half a year, our home is covered in snow. The majestic yet desolate mountain and forest paint powerful landscapes. That cold, raw beauty finds its way into our sound, explains Wilhelm, regarding the compelling natural muse behind Grima, the project he began with his twin brother, Morbius, more than a decade ago. For the use of regional Russian folk instrumentation, such as the sorrowful-sounding Bayan accordion, to the wearing of remarkable felon masks, to the band's evocative album artwork. Oh, so I guess I was wrong about the folk elements. I guess there are folk elements in this band. And Snow Forest, I must need to listen to it more. And Snow Forest fixations on their music videos. Grima have devoted themselves wholesale to the Siberian vistas of their surroundings. Even the name Grima has come to represent a malign forest deity conjured by the twins in reign over their mystical world. Okay, some of these are quotes, so where they got these quotes from is most likely just shooting DMs back and forth and emails back and forth, but you get the gist. They have high acclaim for good reason. Grima symbolizes the dark, rebellious spirit of the forest, where nature is predominantly hostile to human presence and activity. I love that. I love the way that sounds, because that's a great way to actually maintain the mystique of the great unknown that is both the essence of the human mind and as well as the nature of nature itself, specifically like trees, large amounts of trees in the forest, etc. An unwelcome visitor may face punishment. You know, this is very akin to a lot of cultural understanding that's closely tied to my own ancestry, even though they're literally on the exact opposite of that part of the world. A common motif amongst intellectuals. It tells of lost souls wandering tangled paths, tales of Grima's most devoted servants who collect skull trophies from the bodies of the dead. The album is full of stories of those who found their final rest in the Taiga. That, my friends, is some straight up, full blown
black metal. Black metal. Black metal. Black metal. Black metal.
Alright, closing up this one here. I think I wanted to make sure that I read a little bit of this artist, what was featured here on this artist, Venom Morris. As there's some reason for that. I'm just gonna try to find out what reason that there was for that. Whoa, that must be a exclusive. Yeah, that's like an exclusive 30-year edition of Disturbed the Sickness. It is, because I double checked. So 30 years of Disturbed the Sickness. Get yourself a copy of that. Having that. You found out about it here, folks. This is the fucking place to be. What's your favorite Lemmy memory? I believe I brushed through this article quickly. Saxon legend Bill Bufford. Saxon frontman Biff. Here you have something. I'm going to give myself a break here for a second. Actually, just pop on out and let you check this out for yourself. here we have money being raised for a non-profit by these bands, and what it was that helped them do so. Still gonna pop back out here in a second. Suicide, mental illness, and the like are being mentioned here, and these non-profits helping out with it as a support system. Couldn't be more of a relevant time for that. So I'll be returning back just to reiterate what you can do to support. Well, Punk Rock Saves Lives is the organization, and I encourage you to go check it out via the web link, punkrocksaveslives.org. Well, here we have it, the coverage of the new Ozzy Osbourne coverage, from me at least. I know this is what everybody's talking about, but for me to finally get around to doing this, I've added in an extra link that is a tweet from Sharon Osbourne. Won't be actually reading anything from the article or the tweet, aside from that basic information that you need, such as the Villa Park show, that's going to be it's going to be at Villa Park. Sharon's mentioning a new feature-length documentary on Paramount Plus that's going to be showing all about Ozzy's struggles with his health, and just how can you just honestly, what is there to say about it, without actually waiting for this and anticipating for this to come out, watching it, and then talking about it. But for now, this is just my minimal coverage of Ozzy's final show. I mean, it's just last year that he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's just this year that he's doing his final show. There's nothing that could be, in the world of metal music, there's nothing that could be more of a big deal than this. So there's also not much that I really could say to do any justice, and I would rather not even be remotely doing it a disservice to this great rock legend and legendary icon. But basic info that you have here is that Rob Trujillo of Metallica, Billy Idol, Maynard James Keenan of Tour, Chad Smith of Red Hot Chili Peppers, and guitarist Zach Wilde, the producer Andrew Watt, and friend musician Billy Morrison are all going to be featured on No Escape From Now, the new Ozzy Osbourne documentary that you can anticipate as the show is sold out. Here it says that this Birmingham, UK, July 5th, Villa Park, Ozzy's last fucking show, guys. Crying fucking shame. Really, a crying fucking shame. But all those artists that I mentioned, including the Guns N' Roses, somebody from Guns N' Roses, will be in the documentary. Go and check that out. July 7th of the last show. Go and check out when it looks like it might be to be announced on the documentary as of now. And even if not, and you're just hearing about it from me first, or this just happens to trot on along through your natural flux and ebb and flow of info input, then it's just a delight to hear these things, especially that I'm speaking quite a bit softly today as I'm feeling a little under the weather. Anyhow, next up. Really get into Bloodywood. On this episode, I'm just dancing around, beating around the bush with old Bloodywood. But from YouTube parody videos to international success, this is how Bloodywood are bringing Indian metal to the world. And 6 guys in a band, 6 guys in a small tour bus. You're going to want to check out that digital tour bus video that I'm going to put the link for in the show notes. And of course, from parody videos, from doing parody videos, you know they got a sense of humor, so that's huge plus, huge, big, important thing. And you know, here we go. We're gonna be off to the races in a minute to ignite the flame of desire to listen to this band. As when I first discovered them, it was through suggested videos. You know, for the most part, I want to say something like this. I want to say that the suggested videos fuck everything up for everybody, but it's not quite true. I wouldn't know about Bloodywood at all, and I would be discovering them in a manner that's akin to throwing a stick into my spokes while I'm riding a bicycle, and that's not cool. So, because I'm still just vaguely in a basic level of being familiarized with this band, and I have provided a quite lengthy introduction here before we can read the actual article. Getting down to reading the article, maybe learning a little bit more aside from what I, and hopefully you later if you click on the link, because now I have to put that digital tour bus link in there, god damn it. aside from that, I can gain some more insight on them. As a, what am I looking for? What am I commenting on? At their talent level, my interest level, my personal experience. As much as I am an artist myself, I'm also a fan of the art form itself and of certain specific, particular artists. How this stuff is kept alive, well, that's for you to decide, and of course to be a fan of me. And so, quick reminder before we get started on this article: subscribe, like, share, hit the bell for notifications, follow me on the socials. All those logos for the socials that I'm on are available at the end segment of the show and of every episode, but they're not limited to those 6. Now let's get started. Love letter to Indian food and all its diversity is describing the signature sound. I gotta fucking love Indian food so much. There just isn't anything that quite hits the spot like Indian food. Well, dropping metal covers of popular Punjabi and American top 40 songs onto YouTube got him started. But Karan was actually working as a corporate lawyer when he started Bloodywood as a studio project in 2015. Whereby then he started dropping metal covers of popular songs. Next year, he was joined by Giant, whom he knew from the Delhi band The Cosmic Truth. He was working as a talent booking agent at the time, and Bloodywood had begun to attract attention for their pairing of Indian music's rhythmic elements with abrasive new metal riffs and breakdowns. The sound was cemented by 2018, so it took a few years, but they got the viral hit Ari Ari, a cover of Bhangra song featuring local rapper Ranul, accompanied by a memorable video featuring Karan playing guitar while riding a camel through the streets. Is it just me, or does it just feel like nobody can do anything like that anymore? I mean, I'm not going to say without saying too much, but well, everybody's just kind of fascinated with what they can do digitally now and not providing enough substance. And hey, I might feel that way, but I don't stand by that. I don't actually stand by that viewpoint. I really don't. I stand by with whatever's going on right now, but I'm also not technically quite on that side either. It doesn't make any sense. What I just said makes sense on reiterating, but what I'm saying is doing neither one makes sense. Like, doing nothing at all makes sense right now. Everything else is just nonsense. And what am I doing? That might be your question. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Ask me in the comments. Well, here you can gain some insight on what gave them the ideas to start the band, what was going through their head when they started this band, and just a little bit about what they wanted to share with us as fans, like their ethos. I see the word ethos in there. That's very important for anybody trying to achieve success and on the road to achieving goals. Here we got Baby Metal being mentioned again. They're just the largest band. They're just the most popular band, like, basically on the planet, honestly. Like, how can they even be defined as metal would be a good question I would ask, though. It's just pop music, if you ask me. And just to throw it out there, maybe to be a bit imaginative in this segment, like, maybe there's Baby Metal playing on the radio in somebody's car when we're driving to and fro or round and about and all over the place. My mind is going to go completely elsewhere. I'm going to be cringing the entire way if that were the case. A couple other bands mentioned here and a couple other tours. Touring the UK, and then they're mentioning Corey Taylor, Sean Crahan, Slipknot, Sean Crahan's Clown from Slipknot, just a bunch of undoubtable success from these guys, just undeniably successful, and it makes me very proud to be a fan, for starters, and yet still somehow looking forward to, when that mindset of mine kicks in to where I'm going to be really needing to hear some Bloodywood. Their level of success that they've achieved most likely deems it that I won't be getting around to it too much, but from time to time, maybe I'm doing some sort of favor for somebody and I'm in their house or doing this or that and I need to play something along these lines. That's what I would do. Put something like this on in that instance. Anyhow, New Delhi is out now, March 21st. It came out here via Nuclear Blast, if I'm not mistaken. "50 Greatest Iron Maiden moments." I'm going to leave this one totally up to you, and I'm just going to be jumping in whenever I feel like it. Like, the artwork, for example, is really cool, and there should be words and ways to describe it, but there isn't. There just simply isn't. That the only thing I could possibly do to do justice to it is just that every artist that another artist uses the art for has the uniformed consistency that beckons for what is art even for, if not for that ineffability. As much as I'm not the biggest fan, and as much as I honor the greats and the legends such as these guys, the artwork not only has that consistency and ineffability, but there's a giant book about this mascot describing the apocalypse, and it's really cool. I highly recommend you check it out. As the link for this application I use for this ebook and this digital copy of this magazine is available in the show notes, if you do end up downloading that application, and then thereafter searching for the book that I'm mentioning. First, with a search engine, of course, on what I'm talking about. Well, you'll be there in no time. Somehow I feel like I want to comment on this right side up cross, but this is a mature podcast with a mature podcast host. So and that's not, even though that's not entirely true, I'm just feeling like I might want to not wait till I get I don't know, be predictable when I'm immature or whatever. I don't know, but I could just say like, hey, what's this doing here? Something, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like my style. So. But there's 50 different moments to go through over here. I stop on a few of them. And I want you to check out those, and then get the app, and then get your digital copy of this magazine, and then read these. And let me know what your thoughts are on the ones I stopped on here, like on the articles throughout the whole magazine. Let me know what you think of the Iron Maiden's top 50 moments, greatest Iron Maiden moments. Let me know what you think of Bloodywood, Bambie Thug. You can let me know about Slaughter to Prevail all you want. I'm not going to comment on that, so. I think I kind of found this like might be sort of interesting to see about just a private jet type thing and matter of life and death tour. I know I definitely wanted to read that one, but hey, this episode's not capping off as easily as the last one, so I'm gonna be trying to pace myself a bit. By the way, let me know what you guys thought of the music video featured on the beginning of this episode and the last. It's the same music video. I just want to push that single out. I'm pushing that single hard. Pushing that single heavy out right now. And I want you guys to let me know what you think of it. Lyric music video. It's a music video and a lyric video combined in one. Should be a visualizer, but it's a real life visualizer. At least until I can get around to combining ChatGPT and whatever AI tools for visuals. But my software has it. So heads up, it will be there soon. And finding the other little juicy nuggets of cool info about stuff and the way I do it, well, that you'll have to wait for when someone interviews me, hosts me on their show, or if it gets mentioned on side banter and thrown out there when I have a guest on mine. But trust, there's definitely some cool info about the way I do things here on my show. Closing on up this here article and moving on into the next one, I'll remind you that I am your host, Mickey GemInEye, and this is Bolt of Doom Podcast. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell for notifications, and on we go to the greatest show on earth. Other than, of course, the Vault of Doom podcast. This is another one. I'm going to be actually just commenting on the art here. Luckily, for this one, I just commented on these postage stamps. These are like, these must be, these have to be and must be actual postage stamps from this legendary band. I mean, it's really insane to see this artwork's looking so cool. 1980s, 70s when this was. It's so cool. It's insanely awesome. But that's all there is for that. To follow me on Threads or to talk on Threads with me, I'll have to see what's up with Threads, because it doesn't seem like anybody's really using Threads for real conversations, and if they are, well, the algorithm's throwing it all in my face so much I can't even really see like what use that it could possibly be. What does that mean? What am I saying? What am I talking about? I don't know. Well, let's talk about it. I don't know. I think I'm pausing on this part of the magazine because I want you guys to see the letters and how you can do like the cool old thing that people used to do where they would spell stuff out like a ransom note. That's what that is. You know, the subconscious mind knows this. You know this running in the background, but I'm fortunate. Perhaps as much of a struggle it is to put all these episodes together the way that I want them to be put together, I do have the luxury of saying, hey, that's a ransom note format of the alphabet. And I would otherwise just overlook that. I'll just take a deep breath. Okay, ransom letter format of the alphabet is badass. And what else more is there to say? We're on album reviews right now anyway, and until something really stands out to me, I don't mention it or look into it. But there's always something good on album reviews, so the 500 Dark Chapel. Luckily for all these, even though I don't know any of these artists, and it says for fans of or sounds like, type of thing. And so you can get a gist of what you're in for ahead of time and go from there. If you happen to, let's say you happen to also have a podcast and you find me and watch me and like me and listen to me, we have a lot to talk about then. Excuse me a moment here. I think I'm just lagging just a bit here, and I'll be continuing the navigating through the album reviews as we have nothing I can remember. There's nothing I can remember through here. So I'm going to be looking, hopefully, to find something cool. And, hey, and the plus side, too, luckily this series of the show is over. And there won't be any more for a while, or probably ever. Because I just like literally the other day realizing like, hey, don't I need permission from anybody at all to fucking do this? And I'm like, well, I guess so. So I fucking might as well finish these off, throw them out, and be done with it. Then we don't need to fucking worry about it. And then to just today at the same time too, while I'm putting these out, I'm like, well, what the fuck can I do then if I'm just gonna constantly be needing to get disclaim? I don't know. I guess that's something that I'll have to fucking work out, figure out after so much time put into this. If you want to hear songs that have the title Unholy Water and parentheses vodka, reminiscent of Vikings drinking ale, well, this industrial metal band that just put out an album in 2023 titled War of the Heathens will be your cup of tea. It's got Balkan folk, or cup of ale rather, but it's got your Balkan folk melodies with razor sharp electronic beats and synths. That's always good. Synth, when tastefully added into something, is always good. But to add it and mix it into folk, I'm definitely down to check out War of the Heathens. They've got a Croatian folk dance ensemble. So Croatia is in and of itself, and then even in just the sound of pronouncing the name of that country, interesting enough. And then folk dancing, anybody who has that in their ancestry is going to be interested in that. Anybody who has a history in their ethnicity of folk dancing or any kind of stuff on that. You know, why isn't everybody talking about this? And the truth is, you know, to be honest, they are. They really are. Plenty of people are talking about all this shit. Yeah, I kind of drag ass a little bit in this segment, but it should be good. It should be cool. It should be all good. It should be cool when you have just something cool here and there, a cool thing here, a cool thing there. Oh, here's Hymns and Dissonance, Metal Blade release. That's Whitechapel, and yeah, I gotta like that skull. I gotta like that skull. It's really got just right in your face, like right in front of you, just like front and center, and then. With the album art, you know, totally bespeaking much of the content therein. I could just stand here and stare at the album art forever. But 8 out of 10 stars they got. Fans of Thy Artist Murder, Oceans, and Fit for an Autopsy. Metal Blade released that just this year, if I'm not mistaken. Here we go. Bullet for My Valentine, Trivium, Orbit Culture for the live performance reviews. This is freaking I freaking gotta say, they did good on this for having only 3 artists on it this time. That's good. It's only 3 artists on it this time now, so that I can get to focus on actual stuff like this, like the set list here. I wanted to go run through that. Rain, Pull Hard on the Strings, Your Martyr. What's that one? You know, I can't skip over anything Triggering Her. What is that one? The picture quality is choppy, so choppy on here. I don't know, I can't see that one, but Torn Asunder, Ascendancy, A Gunshot to the Trepidation, like the flies dying in your arms, The Deceived, Suffocating Sighs, and Departure, and Declaration, with the encore being In Waves on this set. Bullet for My Valentine starts with well, it starts with like one other song before it gets to Tears Don't Fall, and then that would be it for me to know, just to know the only one that I know by them. So yeah, I'm really dragging ass on this segment too. I mean, we're done with album reviews, we're on live album reviews now. I'm dragging ass on this one too. Hey, anyway, you know, it's Orbit Culture's there with them. You know, what is this mixture of these artists here? Are they touring together? What's the deal here? Let's see. This, and especially because you made it to the end, I congratulate you and admire you for that a great deal. So what I want you to do now is to make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, hit the bell. Follow me, and of course download the app available in the show notes. Download the ebook, a digital copy of this magazine on there, where we have closing on up here. We just have very briefly some show in Nottingham with a few other artists here that don't get much coverage from me, but I will read this, that it's a tough night at the office for metal-inspired trap artist Mimi Barks. However, the artist cuts an imposing figure on stage. It begins to build a head of steam from the opening track, Back Off, but then the laptop supplying her backing track starts skipping on second song, Cardiac, forcing multiple restarts and a frustrated 2-word outburst from Mimi. The good old "have you switched it off and on again" technique is what how she responded. It seems like she responded well. I thought that was pretty cool, reading this prior to the recording of this episode. I was reading this, and I thought that was pretty cool. It's never a static moment in Mimi Barks' set. See, I read that the first time, didn't get it, and reading it the second time, I see that there was some static on stage, and her hair is standing up on her head. Kind of funny. Here we have Leprous, Norway's progressive metal powerhouse, get yet more expansive. Busting the moves up there. Cattle Decap, Shadow of Intent Revocation. That's a London set. At the stage like it owes them money. Well, that's all that we have for you today, folks. And get yourself a big pat on the back from yourself or someone. Get someone to pat you on the back And let me know what you thought of this season, as this closes it up, other than the bonus episode or any other bonus episodes that might fit in before the next season actually begins. And so thank you, and farewell. Oh, I've yet to get my filthy mitts on this absolutely just debaucherous compilation of symphonic travesties. It's like such a big deal that this came out, but whatever, I'll cover it later. Check out the reaction video to the music videos that are out now on my YouTube, official YouTube, and that's a show for you guys. So there's my socials. Well, there's the reminder of that I have these socials, and follow them. And I'll see you guys next time. I bid you adieu and a very fond farewell.